Hello, everyone. Greetings from Taipei, Taiwan. This is Chris Chen, and I want to apologize to everyone that I'm not able to be live with you this evening. This is a pre-recorded video. I hope that just being able to share my ministry and what I do, it's able to be helpful to everyone that's listening in this evening. So just to get started, just wanted to express gratefulness for the invitation to be able to share what I'm doing in Taipei, Taiwan. So a little bit about myself. My name's Chris. Right now I'm serving in Taipei, in Taiwan, with my wife, Audrey, and my two children, Riley, who's 10, and Amos, who is 6. Yes. And so right now I'm serving in a gym church that is called Petra Training. So Petra Training is a gym, and it's also a church. So I guess what you can call a business as missions church plant. And we've been ministering through Petra Training for 2 years now, almost exactly 2 years. And I would like to share a little bit about myself, how I came about starting a gym church, and a little bit about how the ministry is going, the church itself. So I am the son of an American missionary. My mom and my father is a pastor. So I grew up in Tainan, Taiwan, down south. And just being homeschooled, being around my father's ministry and other missionary families is kind of how I grew up. Studied theology in university. And my background is as a pastor. I served with my father as a pastor for almost 10 years. But throughout this whole time growing up, I've always had a passion for fitness, for sports, and it was always kind of a part of who I was. And, throughout ministry, getting married and starting my family, there came to a point where I started questioning myself with, what is the point of going to the gym? I mean, is it really beneficial to me as a pastor, as a husband, as a father? Is it really worth the time investment to keep working out? I'm not young and single anymore, right? I don't need to get big muscles, to get attention from other people. And so I started thinking about this, but it was always a passion. It was very hard to walk away from sports and fitness. One day, my wife, she actually encouraged me and said, maybe you should just go and get your training license. And maybe it might be good to learn something and maybe even make a little money on the side as a coach. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. If I have supported my wife, then I should go and try that. And so as I was getting my coaching license and I was learning and studying and taking classes, I realized, wow, there's a lot of principles that I learned that really align with biblical truth, specifically about us as believers, how we manage and steward our bodies so that we can be healthy and that we can serve the Lord in ministry, not just now, but as long as we live. And so I'm learning and I'm combining these things. And after I got my coaching license, I really had a burden to start fitness classes in the church as well. And so that's kind of how I got started in fitness ministry. I was doing classes in the church, I was doing classes in the gym, and I was really able to reach out to quite a few non-believers that way and making friends in the gym. And so slowly, this fitness ministry began to develop. And I was part-time serving the church as a pastor, working with youth and young adults, and the other half I was teaching fitness classes. And reaching out to people, helping people get healthy. And it came to a point where me and wife were praying. We felt the Lord was leading us to move to Taipei to do fitness ministry full-time. And we got confirmation and blessing from my father, my parents, and we moved to Taipei, and we worked with a church. The pastor is a good friend of mine, Pastor Sai. It's called I Am Inspiring Moment Church, as a local church to start our fitness ministry. And interestingly, I was doing fitness ministry for a year, which involved teaching and fitness, biblical principles and health, and teaching coaching and fitness classes, group sessions, and just doing ministry around the city. One of my friends all of a sudden had an idea. He was running a gym, and he said, "You could run in more, it's going out of business. Hey, Chris, do you want to take over this gym?" I said, "Oh, well, that's an interesting idea. Maybe me and the church, we could do something with this space, and we could maybe open a gym." And so I talked with Pastor Sai. We sat down with another brother who was a businessman, and we talked about the possibility of maybe me or the church, taking over this gym. And as we were talking, is actually the businessman who had this incredible idea, said, "Why don't you make the gym a church and start a gym church?" And that was an idea I didn't even come up with, but we all really liked the idea, prayed about it, and we were able to, a very good price, able to take over this gym. So as we're taking over the gym, we're figuring out, okay, how do we run a business, and how does the ministry side work, and how does this gym church run? Like, what does it look like? How is it a church? We kind of can see how it's a business, but how is it a church? And so just learning as we go, we started this functional fitness gym. We call it Petra Training. And Petra is, meaning the rock. On this rock, I will build my church. And also, we hope that the fitness that people get when they come to this gym makes their bodies strong, like rocks. And so Petra Training is a functional fitness or CrossFit or high rock style gym, makes people healthy. And the way we do ministry right now is, the main way is on Saturdays we have church gatherings. And right now, instead of worship, we do workouts as worship, and talk about being grateful for our bodies, and these are the bodies that the Lord has given us, and we're grateful that we're healthy, that we can work out, and we can build our health, and we can do it together. We do this with a worshipful heart. After this, we'll sit down, we'll rest, and I'll preach a message, a passage from the Bible. We'll do ministry, and we'll do small groups, and that's kind of what our services look like. Now, I have a video for everyone so that you can kind of get an image, an idea of what gym church looks like. So right now, we're going to go into the video.
爆发！有了 ！Nice！
我以前从来没有在运动，参加团练对我来说就是会有培养一个每天固定时间来跟大家一起团练，身体也变得比较有精神，也比较有活力。每一次的团练中都会进步，就觉得很有挑战性。让我持续了快1年这样。
我觉得来参加团练让我最大的学习是谦卑，因为我是一个体育人，很容易会自以为厉害。可是来到团练之后，会发现大家都很专注在自己的目标上面，所以会让我觉得说，我就是专注在追求自己的进步，然后看见自己的进步跟这个努力的过程，就是最棒的。
接着我们会做壶铃、划船，3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15 ，OK， 很好 ，OK， 放松。好的话开始哦，注意核心，对，记得吸一大口气到肚子里面。6、
Petra 跟一般的健身房不一样的地方，就是这个地方充满欢愉、喜乐，然后也让人持续源源不绝的动能，让我想要在这里跟着大家一起成长。
因为跟同伴有更多的互动，所以就促使大家更容易来运动。
Every 次我们都要用运动来做开场，运动是我们主日的敬拜方式。往前伸 ，and 收回来。
我从来没有想过我可以用运动来敬拜神。我觉得来到 Petra 主日是一个很棒而且很新奇的体验。我的身体好像被唤醒，突然被开机的感觉。
先拆毁后建造。我觉得我们的身体就像一个房子一样，里面有掺杂很多的坏习惯。当我们把坏习惯拆掉之后呢，身体的好的部分一个一个都建造起来了，最后成为一个健康的人。
很真实的，我们在经历，像圣经所说，就是我们的身体是圣灵的殿，在我们的身体用身体去荣耀神。
说一次 escapism。讨论问题，休息、放松、充电跟逃避现实的差别在哪里？世界有很多潮流，但是我们的心意要更新而变化。Petra 就是磐石的意思，也是健身房教会。我们希望耶稣会在这个地方、这个磐石上建立他的教会。我们也希望我们来到这里的人，身心灵可以像磐石一样稳固，越来越健康，越来越强壮。
Good. All right, guys. I hope you guys saw the video and enjoyed it and got an image of kind of what our gym looks like, what the gym church looks like. So what we saw in there was some group training and what the group sessions look like. And we also saw the family day. The family day is what we call our gatherings or our services, so to speak. They're very simple. They're very organic. But there is working out as worship, there's God's word, there's small groups, there's prayer, and there's ministry, there's teaching. And slowly these past 2 years, we've really felt that the Lord is leading us to target people in the fitness world. I think we understand that right now we are living in the past, I would say 10 years at least, we're living in the fitness revolution. There's gyms opening up everywhere. There's this fitness craze. And to me, the idea of a gym church is one of the ways the church responds to the fitness revolution, the fitness culture that is happening around us. And there is a people group within this fitness culture that is very, very difficult to get them to walk into the doors of the church. And that reason, there was maybe a couple reasons for that. Maybe because just the church happens on weekends and they're out running, riding their bike, or they're in the gym doing their workout. Maybe another reason is these fitness people may walk into a church and they'll look around and say, well, there's not really anyone in this church like me that really cares about fitness and is crazy about health, whether that's in a good way or an over way. What reason it is, there is now people in the fitness world that needs to be reached with the gospel. And right now our gym church is really trying to target these people. And it's interesting, we have all ages like that attend our family day services from 16 all the way till 67. And they love the outdoors, they love working out. And when they come to our gym church gathering, they feel like it's a spirit, mind, body, well-being type gathering. Like, oh, well, the coach is a pastor, and he's also a coach, so he can also train us, but he can also pray for us and bless our spirit. And to non-believers, they feel like, well, sounds like a win-win to me. And the reason I believe they think that is because when your body and fitness is at a very high level, you get to a place where you start to wonder, well, what's next on the health scale? And you understand that there's also the mental and the spiritual side of health. And that is really something that the church can offer to these people. And so Petra Training as a gym church, when non-believers, they may ask me, well, what is a gym church? I will respond by saying, well, it's a gym that really presents optimal health. We care about health, but not just physically. We care about the mind, and we care about spiritual health as well. Because I believe optimal health is spirit, mind, and body. So that's why we have the family day. That's why we talk about the Bible. We talk about how we can improve our relationships. We talk about how we can get closer to God, because this is optimal, and this is what health should look like. And so for the gym church, what our vision really is there's three parts of the vision. And the first part is to bring the gospel to people in the fitness ministry. There's fitness communities out there, pockets of fitness communities, and we want to bring the gospel to them, whether it's in our gym, or we go out to other gyms, or we go to competitions and we interact with the fitness community. We want to bring the gospel to them. The second part is we want to bring biblical principles of health, physical health, also into the church. You see, there is this need where in many churches, physical health is neglected. And we walk into a church and we see from pastors all the way down to, lay believers, many people are not unhealthy, and they're not living a lifestyle that is glorifying God in their body, and their health is going down, and they're not able to serve. They're not able to even live out their calling sometimes. And so the second part of our vision is to really help the church get physically healthy so that they can walk in their calling and complete the things that the Lord has called us to do. And the third part of the vision is to raise up mission-minded coaches, fitness coaches. So to have more coaches with this vision that will serve the church and that will bring the gospel to their communities in the fitness world. And so that's Petra Training as a gym church. That's our vision, and that's what we really like to see. And the Lord has been gracious. I always find it very interesting that in the beginning, I worried I wonder if us being a gym church will affect the business, because, as a business, we really hope that the business is sustainable and could sustain the ministry as well. But, as a church, I wonder if there will be a lot of people that, it's a gym church, so the pastor, I don't really want to go work out there, But interestingly, the church side actually became a plus for the business, because a lot of people saw this as very interesting. And because we're a business, it makes it very easy for non-believers to walk in the door, because they don't see it as a church, they see it as a gym. So many people say, gym church, that's an interesting idea. And when I tell them the spirit, mind, and body concept, they all really interesting to come see and find out what that's actually like. And us being a gym church actually set us apart from other gyms in the city, in the area, because we're the only gym that offers something like spirit, mind, body, family day gatherings for our members and to other people. And so a lot of people have come to our gym because they like the vibe. And I try to communicate the vibe that you like at this gym. This is church. So many of them don't know it, that this is what churches feels like. Maybe other gyms you go to, the lights are very dim and the music is and it feels like a nightclub. But if you come to this gym, it's very friendly. The lights are bright. People are dressed maybe a little bit more modestly, you could say. And it's just a very friendly environment. And the members at Petra Training now are probably half believers and half non-believers. We have a really good core group of members who are believers that really hold the culture of the gym to keep that church vibe that people walk in and they really feel welcome, they really feel friendly. And so I'm really thankful that the church aspect was actually a plus for the business side. It helped the business side as opposed to bringing it down. And we are really working on trying to find the balance of the business and ministry and trying to keep it as much together as we can. You know, it's easy to lean towards one side or the other, to get carried away with the business and not be expanding in ministry and really focusing on those 3 areas of our vision. It would be very easy also to just dive into the ministry, and the business will slowly begin to go downhill. And so recently we've really been working hard on putting a great team together on not just coaches, but just a good team of young people. Some of them are coaches, so that the gym church can run, and I can focus on being a pastor as well, and not just a coach and a business owner. And my wife Audrey helps a lot with the business side because our gifts are just so different. Yeah. And as a church, my hope is that this can become a sort of a blueprint for other business or entrepreneur church plants. So we came out of a local church because a local church saw the value and the potential of an idea like this. We're not the richest church in the city, but I think we were the only church that was willing to try this idea, to throw a sum of money to start a business as a church plan. So we're hoping to maybe start some kind of blueprint, because if you can run a gym as a church, I believe there's other businesses that you could also run as a church. And I believe the traditional style of church in a city like Taipei, I believe we've reached about as many people as we can with the Sunday morning and small group style church setting. We've reached a certain amount of people, but we're at max capacity. There's a lot of other people in the city that if you want to reach them, the traditional style of church is probably not going to work very well. So a gym church will probably work much better at reaching the fitness community than trying to invite them into a traditional style church. And I think the same goes for, you know, the crowd that is in the bars in the evenings. There's no way they're going to wake up, you know, that time at church. So how do we do church and bring church to these groups of people? And I'm working on the fitness people group, but there's many other groups of people within the city that they need a church that will go to them, that will reach them. And so we're hoping that somehow maybe we can become a blueprint for people to reach certain people groups within the city. So that's a little bit about Petra Training. I know that I have 25 minutes. This is sharing. I'm going to do another video with some questions that were given to me, and hopefully can help answer. So we'll dive into that in a second. Thanks for listening, guys. We're back for some Q&A. I have some great questions here. I'm going to do my best to answer these questions. So the first question I have here is, what kinds of conflicts have you encountered between Christian faith and fitness culture, and how do you navigate them? I'll read that again. What kind of conflicts have you encountered between Christian faith and fitness culture, and how do you navigate them? It's a great question. And to be honest, I'm still navigating a lot of things because there's definitely a culture clash, the fitness culture, and a lot of things I think we are familiar with. So for example, especially the bodybuilding culture that really started the fitness revolution, started with, Arnold Schwarzenegger and his movies. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was the first guy in movies that, was like a really buff action star. All the action stars before Arnold Schwarzenegger were not big and muscular. So thanks to Arnold, every action hero was like very muscular. So we can see that in the Marvel movies. And what that has kind of evolved into is making our body an idol. We can see that in the fitness culture and social media. When people go to the gym, they taking selfies, selfies of their body. And a lot of believers see that and they say, oh, the fitness culture is just vanity and people just idolize their body. And that's true. And I think that's something that we have to watch out for, because we've gone full circle from the Roman and Greek period where you had all the statues and everybody was idolizing the human body. And now we're back into the fitness culture and social media where so idolizing your body is definitely a clash of culture. And the fitness culture is full of idols. Making your body an idol is definitely one of the big ones. Another thing that is an idol is just health and youth. Pursuing health and youth can be an idol, even though those are good things. And I think we understand as believers that even ministry can become an idol. A lot of good things can become idols. And so in Petra Training, when we're talking about culture, we're really talking about the health of our bodies and the performance of our bodies. What can our bodies do as opposed to prioritizing how our bodies look? Because what our bodies can do will determine how we can serve. How can we build a church? How can we serve? How can we serve our families? How and maybe even affect how long we can live. All the times we have physical limitations, but a lot of these physical limitations have to do with our lifestyle choices. And so we want to promote health and physical performance in a way that builds us up and our community up, as opposed to making it become an idol. So that's a great example. Another one is just recently we've been observing that the fitness culture can have loose boundaries, and so how do we establish a healthy culture within our gym where the boundaries between men and women, are clear and are healthy? So we hope that our gym is a safe place. Like if you want to send your kids to a gym to work out, I hope Petra Training will be that kind of safe area. So we're still kind of navigating through that, and just trying to disciple and to coach and to teach our members what healthy boundaries are like, because maybe in the previous gyms they've gone to, a lot of them are non-believers yet. Their boundaries are very vague when it comes to interacting with men, women, and how they dress. And so we're really working on establishing a healthy culture. So I hope that helps answer some of the questions. Okay, question number 2, here we go. Do you think the church planting through fitness model can be replicated? What key factors are essential for its adaptation? Read that again. Do you think the church planting through fitness model can be replicated? What key factors are essential for its adaptation? Yeah, that's a great question. I think it definitely can be replicated. I've seen it done in a few places. I know there's a gym church in Chiang Rai, Thailand, that's also doing something similar. Ukraine. There's a couple places, China, that are doing similar. I think if you have a model that allows you to, how do you say this, repeatedly gather the same group of people, then you can do church. I'll say that again. If you have a model that allows you to repeatedly gather the same group of people, you can do church. So when I was in the CrossFit gym, I realized that it's not one-on-one coaching, it's group coaching, group sessions. And I really loved that. And I felt very familiar because that's kind of what we do in church. We do things in a community. So that's the way I run my gym, is group sessions. We don't have that many one-on-one sessions, but the group sessions allow us to repeatedly gather these groups of people, at the same time allowing new ones to join, and that will give you an opportunity to do church. And there are different models that allow you to repeatedly gather the same group of people. Like if you have an art studio, and we just gather together, we do an art class, and everybody does art, or everybody does dance. You know, if you can do a gym church, you can do a dance church. If you can do a gym church, you can do an art studio church, because you have a way to repeatedly gather these people. And these people are already, already connected through a mutual passion of either fitness, of dance, or of art. So when you gather, you already have something to talk about. You already have something in common. So if you, as a believer, as a leader, you're leading these gatherings, you can do church. There's potential to do church. And so I think that's one of the key factors for adapting, is the model that you have. Are you able to repeatedly gather the same group of people? And will these people, do they look up to you in the profession, whether it's a fitness coach, or you're an artist, or you're a dance instructor? Do they look up to you for your leadership and instruction? And if you do, you have the potential to do church. I think there's a lot of potentials, but you need a heart for church planting, and you need a pastoral heart. And that could be one person, or it could be two people, could be three people. So I think for me, I had the role of a coach and the role of a pastor, and my wife is the role of the entrepreneur. So the team works. Maybe you are one person, two people, three people, you can make the team work. So I believe there's probably some other factors that I haven't thought of right now at the moment, but I definitely think it can be replicated in fitness or in other areas. Okay, we have another question here. What advice would you give to those who want to try an interest-driven approach to evangelism and church planting? So what advice would you give to those who want to try an interest-driven approach to evangelism and church planting? Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing that comes to mind for this question, if you're going to do evangelism, church planting in fitness, or let's just say the other areas that I mentioned in art or in dance, the first thing I would suggest is to really pursue excellence in that area. And to be honest, a lot of times when we tie church to anything, a lot of people will automatically think that, oh, it's not very professional, it's not very excellent. Oh, this church opened a gym. A lot of people automatically will think, oh, it must be not a very professional gym. And I don't know why people think that. At least in Taiwan, people tend to think, well, the church is just not as professional as the business world. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you have an interest, if you have a passion, a profession, a talent, and the Lord is leading you to use it in evangelism and church planting, really spend time and pursue excellence in that area. Because when you have excellence in that area, you have a platform not just to teach and coach and to express your work or your talents and your gifts. You have a platform to share the gospel, and you don't always have to go after people. People will begin to come to you because of your excellence. And I believe that's biblical. I think the Lord has called us, no matter what we do it as if we're doing for the Lord. And it's true, oftentimes churches will see interest as tools to be used for evangelism, but the people on the front lines actually don't have a passion or an excellence in that interest. And the people who really do have a passion will find out that the people that are trying to reach them don't care as much about the art or the fitness or, as they do. You don't want them to feel like, oh, you just want to share your religion with me. You don't want to work out with me or coach me. I think that's the last feeling we want to give the people that we're trying to reach. So really pursue excellence in the area that you want to use for evangelism and church planting. And that may take some time. And it's okay to invest time in it, because you can still do evangelism while you're working on your fitness. So with the coaches that I'm working with right now, there are some that have a very strong passion for evangelism, but their coaching expertise is not quite there yet. And so I can't let them coach group sessions yet. They're just not there yet. At the same time, there are coaches who have very good expertise that I'm leading, but their faith or their heart for evangelism is not quite there yet. So it's possible there are different things that we need to work on, but excellence, I think, is a big one. If we're going to step into the business world, or if we're going to step into the world of whatever interest-driven group that we're in, we want to be good in that area, and that'll give us more opportunity to share the gospel. And when you do plant that church, people will come to you for your excellence, but they will stay because they've experienced Jesus. So I hope that this short sharing and Q&A has been beneficial to you guys, just a little bit of what I'm doing and what I have learned. If there was anybody that would like to get in touch with me and ask me more questions, I would be more than happy to answer those questions. I believe the operators of this call have a way to get a hold of me. And I just want to say that my email is free to give out. If anybody needs it, would like to contact me or visit me in Taipei, would love to meet any of you that happen to be stopping by in Taipei. But it's a pleasure to share with you guys, and I just want to bless you in what the work that you guys are doing, that the Lord would release his peace and his joy and his passion upon you, and that your ministries would experience the breakthroughs that you guys have been praying for this year. So God bless everybody, brothers and sisters, and Jesus Christ bless you. Bye.